Okay, so in last class, we have studied about types of magnetism, okay? And we have seen how various types of magnetic material magnetized in presence of magnetic field. So do you understand? So this graph shows magnetic field as a function of applied. This graph shows magnetic induction as a function of applied magnetic field. Okay, so this is the applied magnetic field and then magnetic induction. So this line shows vacuum. That means when the susceptibility is zero. When we have diamagnetic materials, whose susceptibility is negative and small value. So this shows the magnetic induction behavior in presence of magnetic field is indicated by this line. And for paramagnetic materials, this is indicated by this blue line. And for ferromagnetic or ferrimagnetic materials, this shows this line. So this ferrimagnetic or ferromagnetic or ferrimagnetic material, magnetic induction rises sharply in presence of applied magnetic field. So low applied magnetic field fully saturate the magnetic materials. Okay. Now we will further investigate of this type of material. In case of, as we have discussed earlier, in case of diamagnetic material, there is no, in absence of magnetic field, there is no magnetic moment. So these are the atomic magnetic, in this figure, atomic magnetic moments are shown. So look at the diamagnetic materials, there is no magnetic moment, and magnetic field, applied magnetic field is zero. When the magnetic field is applied along that direction, then this atom, there is an induced magnetic moment in the atom. However, this induced magnetic moment is opposite to the direction of the applied magnetic field. So that is why its susceptibility is negative. Okay, in this case. Next one is for paramagnetic material. Paramagnetic material has got some magnetic moment. However, they are randomly aligned. Look, one is along that direction in absence of magnetic field. One is along that direction, another. So they are randomly oriented. When you apply magnetic field along that direction, these magnetic moment of the individual atom, they try to align with the magnetic field. So that is why you see that there is a linear increase of magnetism in presence of magnetizing field. Okay, you have seen in the previous figure. And then to saturate, to align them fully towards the applied magnetic field, you need a very, very strong field, or they never saturate. However, in case of ferromagnetic material or ferrimagnetic material, so they have net dipole moment even in absence of magnetic field. Look, in this case, in case of paramagnetic material, the net magnetic moment, if you add them, vectorially add them, net magnetic moment will be zero. However, in this case, even in absence of magnetic field, their magnetic moment is not zero in this case. So that means they have got some spontaneous magnetization in this case. However, when you apply a small magnetic field along that direction, and this magnetic field align this movement towards the direction of the magnetic field. Okay, so that is why they saturate in a very. So when you apply very small field, magnetization is increases sharply, and then they saturate. That means they fully align towards the magnetic field. Do you understand this magnetic behavior, magnetization process of various types of magnetic materials?
Okay, yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, what is the origin of the magnetic moment? You see, we know that when the electric current through a conductor develops magnetic field, and around it, or current through a coil of wire will act as a magnet. We have discussed this thing earlier. Okay. So this informs that there is an intimate relationship between the electric current. So there is an intimate relationship between electric current and magnetic field. Okay. And flow of electron along a path constitute the electric current. We know what is electric current. Okay. So in all, when we have studied atomic model, so we have seen that in all atoms, electrons are revolving around the nucleus in different orbit. According to the Bohr model, we have seen it. We have studied this one earlier. These revolving electrons constitute an electric current in the orbit. And these currents from magnetic dipole, these currents form magnetic dipole. This current actually, due to this current, atoms become a magnetic dipole. As an electron in an atom are revolving in different orbits, so that are randomly oriented. So the magnetic dipole, due to the orbital motion of the electrons, are randomly oriented and results zero magnetic dipole moment. We have seen that this is the case of paramagnetic materials. In the previous figure, if you remember, so this is the case. They have got dipole moment, but they are randomly oriented. The spin of the orbital electron and the spin of the nucleus also contribute to the magnetic effect to an atom. Okay, so there are three contributions. One is spinning electrons in the orbit, and then spin of the orbital electrons in its own spin, and then orbital electrons, and then spin of the nucleus also contribute to the magnetic field. Because as you know that in the nucleus there is a proton, and proton is positively charged, and when positive charge moves, so that also positive charge rotate or moves, any charge, when there is a movement of charge, that actually produce the current. So under an applied magnetic field, this dipole experience a torque. You might have studied in your college level physics, when you place a magnetic dipole in a magnetic field, so there will be a force acting on it, and due to that force, it will try to rotate. Or due to that force, there will be a torque acting on it. Okay, and due to this, so this dipole, this external applied magnetic field, and due to that, this dipole experiences a torque in the direction of the applied field, and the atom acquires certain magnetization. That means it will rotate towards the magnetic field. Therefore, the magnetic dipole moment of an atom is, as I have said earlier, due to the orbital motion of the electron, number one, and the spin of the electron, and then spin of the nucleus as well, because nucleus contain positive charge, proton. Okay. However, the neutron is there is no charge, so it hasn't got any effect. But it plays a role for the mass of the nucleus. So what causes the diamagnetism and paramagnetism? The magnetic properties are due entirely to the electron of the atom, which have a magnetic moment by virtue of their motion. Because the charge is moving, so moving charge produces a current, and that current produces the magnetic field. The nucleus also has small magnetic moment. However, its mass is heavier. Okay, we will see the magnetic moment actually depends on charge and mass. And mass of the electron is less, so its magnetic moment is higher. However, the mass of the proton is about 1840 times higher, or roughly 2000 times higher. There is a magnetic moment is less. Okay, so that is why the nuclear magnetic moment, so it is insignificant compared to the electron, and it does not affect the gross magnetic properties of the material. So mainly, electron contribution of the electron is higher in this case. Now, now we will calculate the magnetic moments of an electron. So there are two kinds of electron motion. One is orbital motion and another is spin motion. Spin is actually electron rotates around its axis, that is the spin. And orbital motion is every electron also moving in a particular orbit. So that is the orbital motion. So we have two kinds of motion. One is spin, another is orbital. And each has magnetic moment associated with it. The orbital motion of an electron around the nucleus may be compared to the current in a loop of a wire having no resistance. That means if you take a current carrying conductor and make a loop, okay. So this current flow may be considered as the orbital motion of an electron around the nucleus. So these both are equivalent to circulation of charge. The magnetic moment of an electron due to this motion is calculated by, so magnetic moment mu of this for this electron will be the area of the loop, area of the orbit, and multiplied by the area of the orbit multiplied by the current. Okay. So what is the area of the loop? If the radius of the orbit is r, area of the loop will be pi r square. Pi r square. Okay. Now what is the to find out the current, we know that Q equal to IT. So from here, I will be Q by T. Now Q is electronic charge, so it has E. Charge is E. What is T? T is the circumference of the path is twice pi r, and then divided by velocity of the electron. Okay, so if you simplify that one, V will go up. So V will go up. So it will be EV by twice pi r. And then if you simplify that one, this will become E, velocity of the electron, and then radius of the orbit divided by 2. So that's the dipole moment. So when we have studied Bohr atomic model, we have seen that the angular momentum of this electron, if you remember, must be an integral multiple of h cut, and h cut is h pi twice pi, where h is the Planck's constant. So this is one of the postulates of the Bohr model. So this angular momentum is, so electron is moving around this path, electron is here, and the radius is r, and its mass is m, and its linear momentum is v, its speed is v, so linear momentum is mv. So angular momentum will be r cross p, and angle between them is 90 degree, so it will be just mbr. So this mbr will be equal to nh cut. So from here you can calculate Vr will be NH cut divided by M. And if you substitute the value of Vr here, so it will be E H by 4 pi M or EH cut by twice M. So this is the magnetic moment of an electron, and this is called one Bohr magneton. Oh, in this case, we have chosen, so we calculate the magnetic moment in the first Bohr orbit, n equal to 1. So this is called Bohr magneton as well. So EH by twice M is known as Bohr magneton. And this mass is the mass of an electron in this case. So due to the charge of the electron, it has got magnetic moment, and this magnetic moment is EH cut by twice ME. Now, spin of the electron was postulated long before, about 100 years ago, 1925, in order to explain the certain feature of the optical spectra of hot gases. Spin is a universal property of electron in all states of matter at all temperature. The electron behaves as if it were in some sense of spinning about its own axis, and associated with this spin are definite amounts of magnetic moment and angular momentum. it is found experimentally and theoretically that the magnetic moment due to the electron spin is equal to mu spin is, we have calculated in previous slide, E h cut by twice m, and the value of h cut is h by twice pi, so it will become E h by 4 pi m. If you substitute the value of the charge, which is this one, 1.60 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, such the value of h, which is 6.62 into 10 to the power minus 34 joules second, and then 4 pi, and then mass of this is mass of the electron, which is 9.11 into 10 to the power minus 31 kilogram. And if you calculate that one, it will be 9.27 into 10 to the power minus 24 joule per Tesla. So this is the magnetic moment of an electron, or we call it one Bohr magnetron. Okay, so now magnetic moment due to the nuclear spin. As I have said, nucleus contains protons. So due to that one, it has got some moment as well. And if you calculate the magnetic moment of the proton or magnetic moment of the nucleus, it will be same thing, Eh cut by twice m, but in this case, this will be the mass of proton. And you know the mass of proton is about 1840 times or almost 2000 times heavier than the electron. So that is why this magnetic moment will be very less compared to the magnetic moment of electron, which is this one. Okay, because the proton is nearly 2000 times heavier than an electron, so mu n is very small compared to mu b. So and it can be neglected. Okay, so magnetic moment due to the nucleus can be neglected. Therefore, from this discussion, we can conclude that the total magnetic moment of an atom will be mainly the vector sum of the orbital and spin magnetic moment of electron. Okay. So now the magnetic moments of an atom. Atom contain many electrons, except hydrogen atom. In case of hydrogen atom, you have only one electron, and other than any other atom has got many electrons, more than one, depending on the material. Each spinning about its own axis and moving in its own orbit. Definite orbit is there. The magnetic moment of the atom is the vector sum of all its electronic moment, and two possibilities arise. The magnetic moment, you see them in every cases, electron has got up spin and also the down spin. So the difference between up spin and down spin, one moving in clockwise, another moving in anti-clockwise. So the magnetic moment of all the electrons are so oriented that they cancel out one another. And the atom as a whole has no net magnetic moment. So this condition leads to the diamagnetism. You have seen that the diamagnetic atom hasn't got any, in absence of magnetic field, they do not possess any magnetic moment. However, if you apply magnetic field along towards the right, so it will induce a magnetic moment towards the left. So that's the diamagnetic material. So diamagnetic material basically arises from when the electrons occurs pairwise. That means up spin will produce some magnetic moment, down spin will produce magnetic moment in the opposite direction. As a result, the net magnetic moment will be zero. So if the electron occurs, electrons are in pair form. Okay, so that will produce diamagnetic materials. The cancellation of the electronic moment is only partial, and the atom is left with net magnetic moment. Such an atom is often referred to as magnetic atom. Like when you have unpaired electrons in an atom, so the paired electron will cancel out each other. The magnetic moment will cancel each other. However, the unpaired electron has got net magnetic moment. In that case, the cancellation will be partial. It will not be fully cancelled. So in that case, the substance composed of atom of this kind can be classified as either para, ferro, antiferro, or ferromagnetic materials. Like if the magnetic moments are randomly, we have shown in the previous, if the magnetic moments are randomly aligned, that produce paramagnetic materials. When they have got they have spontaneous magnetic moments, that means they are aligned even in particular direction, even in absence of magnetic field. So that's the ferromagnetic material. But in case of antiferromagnetic materials, in our last class we have shown that the spins are actually antiparallel. So again the magnetic moment will be net magnetic moment will be almost zero in absence of applied magnetic field. However, if you apply magnetic field, so magnetic field like towards up or along this direction, so these spins will rotate towards the magnetic field. As a result, you will get small amount of magnetization in case of antiferromagnetic materials. However, in case of ferromagnetic materials, you have two types of sublattice. Their spins are parallel. You have two types of sublattices, and unequal. They are antiparallel, but they are unequal. So as a result, you get some magnetic moment. So from today's discussion, we have seen that when the electrons in an atom occurs in a pairwise, that net magnetic moment will be zero. So in that case, those materials will be treated as diamagnetic materials. However, when there is an unpaired electron is the main source of the magnetism. Okay, so now we will solve some problem. Okay, student, can you solve this problem? Problem number 1. Please try to solve these problems. The magnetic susceptibility of silicon is negative of this value, minus 0.4 into the minus 5. Calculate the flux density B and magnetic moment per unit volume, that means M. In last class, we derived some formula. So using this formula, and magnetic field intensity is applied this one. This is H. So in last class, we have studied 3 magnetic vectors, B, M, and H. So how will you solve this problem? Please solve it. For this one, that's the case. So in this case, you have to calculate what is B and what is M. So we have previously derived the relationship between 3 magnetic vectors B, H, and M. They are connected with this formula. B equal to mu naught H plus M. So if you take H common, mu naught H, and then it will be 1 plus M by H. Now we know that chi is equal to M by H. So this equation will be reduced to mu naught H plus 1 plus chi. Now you can easily calculate B because H is given and the value of chi is also given in this problem, and mu naught is constant. Permeability in zero space, and permeability in zero space is this one. And magnetic field is given 5 into 10 to the power 5, and then 1, and the value of chi is negative in this case. This value is negative. So if you substitute this value here, it will be this one. Okay, so 0.62 Weber per meter square. So you got one value V. And how will you calculate M? And we know that chi equal to M by H. So from here you can calculate M. So M will be chi into H. So value of chi is given, negative of this, and H is magnetizing field this. So you can calculate. So in this way you can solve some problems. Okay, and the next problem is problem number 2 is the magnetic field strength, that again H is given, is this one. And if the magnetic susceptibility is, now you have positive susceptibility, is this. Calculate the magnetic flux density in silicon. So it's same as before. Magnetic field, no, magnetic susceptibility is negative basically. Magnetic susceptibility is again negative. So silicon, so magnetic susceptibility is negative. Okay. So magnetization M will be chi H as we have calculated earlier, and then total magnetic flux density will be mu naught H plus M. So you can calculate that. And problem number 3 is when a magnetic material is subjected to a magnetic. Will you solve it by yourself? When a magnetic material is subjected to a magnetic field of intensity 250 ampere per meter, now the relative permeability, that means the permeability in the material and permeability in free space, is ratio between these two is 15. It's called relative permeability. Now your task is to calculate magnetization M and the magnetic flux density B. To solve this one, you applied magnetic field is given, relative permeability is given. So you calculate M and B. Now the relationship between M equal to, we can also derive this relationship. M equal to H into mu R minus 1. Mu R is actually mu divided by mu naught. And this value is given 15. So you can calculate M will be 3500 ampere per meter. And B will be mu naught H plus M. So you know the value of H, and also you know the value of M in this case. If you substitute, then you get the total magnetic induction. Okay, so the problem number 4. The magnetic field in the interior of a certain solenoid. You know the solenoid. Solenoid is a wire wound, and then current is passing through the wire. The value of the magnetizing field is given 6.5 × 10⁻⁴ Tesla. When the solenoid is empty, there is no core material. When it is filled with iron is a magnetic materials, you know, the field become 1.4 Tesla. Look, how much the field rises. Field becomes stronger in this case. Find the relative permeability of the iron. That means permeability of the iron with respect to the free space. And you know the permeability of free space is very less. It's 4 pi into 10⁻⁷. So magnetic field without iron, that is V naught, is given here. And then magnetic field with iron is this. So relative permeability will be the ratio of these two. So very high. Relative permeability is very high. In case of iron, is 2153. Problem number 5 is a magnetic material has magnetization 3300 ampere per meter and the flux density is this, is B. So this is M and this is B. Calculate magnetizing force. So you should calculate M and also the relative permeability of the material. So we have solved this sort of problem earlier. So M is given, B is given. Now your task is to calculate H and also the mu naught. So we know this relationship, B equal to mu naught H plus M. So from here B by mu naught minus M will be H. So you can calculate H from this relationship. And once you know H, then you can calculate and also the relationship from here we can calculate the relationship between M and H is this one. From here we can calculate mu r. Mu r equal to 1 plus M by H, which is 17.5.